Okay, welcome back. Let's go to some breaking news. This is on the southbound 710 freeway near Long Beach.
Yeah, let's go to Stu Mendel in Sky 9 over this pursuit. Stu, what's going on here?
Well, you see it right there. You got an older Mercedes SL. That's a two-door. It was a sports car back in its day. Now, apparently this was parked on the side of the road somewhere off the 91 freeway. Seemed to be like it was some sort of issue, problem, maybe broken down. California Highway Patrol pulls up behind it. They notice that there's two dogs inside there and possibly a female driver. And then the car takes off. Now, we know that there is a driver. I'm not saying that the dogs are driving the car, but they did say there were two dogs inside the vehicle with the driver. Now, you can see the car has been going on here. Some points it was going pretty quick. Right now, it's going very slow. We're in the Long Beach area. This is going to be the southbound 710 freeway. Now, just moments before we were live, we had a pit maneuver happen. I'm going to throw to that pit right now. They had a pit. It was off in the distance. We were getting a little bit closer. We saw that one California Highway Patrol coming up next to the car.
Look right here.
Here we go again. It seems like there we go. A little higher speeds.
Look there. Whoa. There we go.
There we go. That was a pretty good pit that time. That car spun completely around and actually hit the wall. Now you see a little bit of smoke coming out of that car. Not sure what that's all about. But that car was going a little bit quicker this time when they did that pit maneuver. You can see California Highway Patrol out here now in force. Now this is southbound 710 freeway. Southbound 710 freeway just past Willow. You saw that pit, California Highway Patrol doing that. Now there are dogs inside this car. So I'm kind of curious if this person does not comply, if they're going to use a canine. But right now that vehicle does seem to be disabled. You can see a lot of smoke coming out from underneath the hood right there. That pit was done by the California Highway Patrol. The car spun out, hit that center divider. Hit the center divider, and now it seems to be disabled. Now, you can see the officers down there. They have the southbound 710. They were running brakes earlier on, keeping the rest of the traffic out of the area. You can see them back there. That light being brought to you by the California Highway Patrol, as I understand it. Right now, though, this car disabled on the roadway. Officers from the dogs get out. There's oncoming traffic on the other side. So whatever's going on right now inside that vehicle, I'm hoping for the best. There's dogs' lives and people's lives at stake now. And you can see officers out there. They got their weapons out. They're giving this person commands. No, nothing's been met at this time. Also asking for less than lethal to be brought to the scene. So this may become some sort of standoff. Right now, though, it's just a termination of a pursuit here in the Long Beach area, southbound 710, right before Pacific Coast Highway.
So the end of the pursuit, but the situation not over yet. As you mentioned, at least one person in the car, perhaps a female driver, and two dogs. Looks like maybe one of them is a bigger breed dog. Now, the problem with this is that I don't know if they're going to call animal control to the scene, but you've got a problem in that you've got two dogs in there. It's not their fault they're in the situation they're in, but if they get out and they act aggressive, they may be hurt in the process. Officers having to be careful so that they don't get hurt in the process. Meanwhile, you've got this driver who has made no other movements to get out and obey any orders from the officers. I can't remember the last time we saw a pursuit that ended like this with animals involved. Stu, I wonder, have you heard that perhaps they're calling animal control out to the scene?
You know, right now, animal control is probably one of the last things on the officer's list, but it is definitely something they're going to be thinking about. Right now, they want to get, so at least two dogs we see inside that vehicle. This woman right now kind of in an odd spot. All she needs to do is open up that door, let herself go into custody, and everybody, her dogs and herself, will be safe.
Yeah, you got to think the driver and the dog's restless in that car. Let's not forget they've just been through two pit maneuvers.
She is putting her keys on top of the roof and trying to get those dogs under control. That was what we were worried about earlier on. Three dogs.
Oh boy, this is gonna be crazy.
Two bigger ones.
This is crazy.
It looks like to be a puppy. They're not following the officer's rules right here.
Well,
okay, that's just dumb right now.
Stu, and we just had confirmation from CHP that there were 3 dogs inside of that vehicle. A very unusual situation here. We have
better get this dog, lady.
Four dogs.
4 dogs. 4 dogs. We're counting 4 dogs.
4 dogs inside the car.
Oh, look like there's more coming out.
This is very, very.
And she's letting them all out.
Jesus Christ, look how much dogs are coming out.
A danger to themselves, anybody else. We know that behind them that the highway has been blocked off there. But are they making any attempt to approach her and to take her into custody, Stu?
You know, I just taken a look to see if I could see those other dogs, maybe some off-cup. And right now, I believe following directions from the officers. Unsure if she's hearing other voices in her head, perhaps. But right now, you can see the other dogs coming back to her. This is
Oh my
this just
god.
gets more and more bizarre.
I see some movement inside of the car, so it looks like there might be more dogs. I wonder, I mean, anything's possible in this situation. I wonder if maybe she stole those dogs. I mean, to let them loose to hopefully try to get rid of evidence. I mean, who knows what's going on in this situation? But you're like taking a look at live pictures here. This is from Sky 9 with this 710 freeway, closed at PCH.
But it is going to be curious to see how these officers have to deal with the dogs. They're going to have to take them out of that car at least and secure them somehow. They don't want them running around on the freeway. They don't want to have any kind of problems like that as well. You can see one of the officers right there has one of those sticks with the nooses on it that you see with the dog catchers. They use those to catch the animals. It does seem that these officers are still cautious. You see these two that were out.
All this breaking news of 710 southbound, the 710 freeway, a pursuit that ended moments ago. As you see, officers are coming up onto this vehicle, the female driver of a Mercedes-Benz, an older model that was pulled over, attempted to pull over earlier today, but there was at one point in time this car was parked on the side
One
of the road.
dog's following the
CHP got a
officer.
call and then drove up behind that vehicle, and then the woman behind the wheel took off. Then we got reports that there was a number of dogs inside that vehicle, and then just past Willow on 710 southbound, sending that Mercedes into the median and southbound. And then there was a brief, if you will, standoff. The woman inside of that vehicle smoking a cigarette, and it appears that she was maybe trying to decide what to do with all of the different dogs that are inside this vehicle.
But she did make a choice at one point when she was in that car to start letting all of the dogs out of the vehicle onto the 710 freeway. And right now, what you're looking at are the police officers approaching the vehicle she was in, where she had a number of dogs. It looked like, Jeff, at least 4 or 5 dogs. When she finally decided to end the standoff and get out of the car, she began letting all these dogs out into the freeway. Fortunately, the traffic has been stopped in both directions, north and southbound on the 710 at Willow. And what you're seeing right now are the CHP officers trying to catch all of these loose dogs on the freeway so they're not in danger running around anymore on the freeway. But you can imagine for the dogs, they're probably terrified. They don't know what's going on. There's a bunch of patrol cars around with lights. There are helicopters above shining spotlights down on them. This has got to be a very scary situation for them. And their owner has been taken away. At one point, she was lying down on the ground as she was told to do, and the dogs were approaching her, coming up to her. So this is very chaotic for everybody out there right now as police try to round up all these dogs that are running around in the 710.
And Stu Mundell up in Sky 9 is watching all of this. Now, Stu, the suspect driver was on the ground behind that vehicle, and now looks like she's been put in a cruiser. Is that right? Stu, let's find out a bit more about that. We have Jose Nunez, who is with California Highway Patrol, on the line right now. Jose, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Have you seen anything like this ever before?